So, hey, kia ora whānau, haere mai, welcome to 2024 National Masters Tournament. I'm very excited to see a lot of very familiar faces in the crowd. I'm even more excited to see some very new ones as well. Before we get into the briefing though, I will ask for, or introduce Michael from Wellington Hockey. He's the CE here. Just maybe a quick welcome and just introduce yourself.
Awesome. Thank you. Hey, look, sorry for those who have been on the various briefings so far today. You've probably heard the same thing from me a couple of times. So, just really hold it. Just a really warm welcome here to Wellington. We're really humbled and honoured to be hosting Masters this year. Just like the players, we know that it's an experience for you all. You work hard, you work for your appointments, and hopefully at the end of the week you can say, you'll go home holding your heads high. Fingers crossed, not holding hammies or anything like that. I'm sure that's bound to happen to someone. Look, this is our home, but more importantly, it's your home for this next week as well. So, for those who haven't ventured up, you're in the on our practice turf and a marquee up the back there. Frenchie's raving about it already, so hopefully you are too. It's something special, so we hope you enjoy. Other than that, however we can help, hit Frenchie up. Frenchie will come see us and we'll see if we can sort you out. But yeah, just again, big thanks for being here, and I really hope you enjoy your week ahead. That's me.
I have the talking stick.
I'm really good at doing this.
Yeah.
Going,
so I just want to, whilst Michael's walking out, I just want to reiterate that Wellington Hockey have been excellent hosts, and as all of you will know, tournaments start probably 3 or 4 months ago. Tonight's the beginning of hockey proper, but these guys have been working really hard for that long. They've done an excellent job, so well done to Michael and your team, your volunteers, and everybody that you've used here. It's just been incredible, so thank you. We've got an amazing setup at the back there too, guys, so make sure you take advantage of that.
Like speak into it or put it on your lap?
Okay, like speak into it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like that. Perfect. Like
Okay.
There you go.
Cool. Right. Can I ask all the people who have never been to a New Zealand National Masters tournament before to stand up, and before you do, can you please tell us your name, tell us where you're from, and tell us what role or roles you might be doing in this tournament. So up we stand. If you're new, never been to a National Masters tournament before. And contrary to popular belief, because I am a gentleman, I will ask this lovely lady to start first and give her the talking stick.
Oh my goodness. Keely Dunn from Canada, FH Umpires. It's nice to see some of you who recognize me, and I wish I recognized you back, but I don't yet, but we will fix that. I am one of the umpire managers, and I might be stepping on the pitch if need be, but it's not my first priority. My priority here is to support you. So good luck, and I can't wait to meet you all.
Hi, I'm Mike McDowell. I'm from England. I'm here as an umpire.
I'm Stephen Dyberg. I'm here from Wellington. I'm umpiring, and I'm also one of the volunteers who have helped to organise this. So great to see you all here. Love it.
I'm Ryan. I'm from North Otago, and I'm here as an umpire.
I'm Nigel Paris from Taranaki. I'm here to umpire.
Hi, I'm Bruce Manning. I'll be here to umpire. I'm local from Wellington, and welcome to everyone who's from out of town. And everyone's standing, but I bet you're not all new.
Put a hand up.
Cheers.
I'm Caleb Pulipuli. I'm head umpire from Wellington.
I'm Danny Walker. I'm from the Manawatu, and I'm here to umpire.
I'm Marty Glossop. I'm from Otago, formerly from the Kapiti Coast, and I'm here to help you guys out as an umpire.
Hi, Brian Harrison. Call me Harry. Hey. I'm from Brisbane, and I'm here to have a good time.
So you're not umpiring?
Maybe.
I'm pairing as well tomorrow.
Thank you, team. Righto. Did you stand up? Pretty sure you've never been to another tournament before.
I've been to tournaments, but not as an umpire.
Stand up.
I'm Karen. I'm from North Harbour, and I'm here to play in the women's 50s and umpire.
Thank you, Karen. Hey, isn't it great? Welcome to the hockey officials, New Zealand hockey officials whānau. Let's give them a round of applause. And at the end of the week, you might decide, don't know, but no, you will. No, look, I will probably just start. This is a big week. You know, we have 97 teams. There's a huge amount of logistics. As late as half an hour ago, we've just had another umpire pull out for the tournament. So, very difficult situation. So, what we need to be very mindful of is being very patient, being very solution focused, and supporting and helping each other. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about the Masters ethos in a little bit more time. But let's get through to this. Not used to talking to this, but so just for tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about Masters, the ethos, some goals and expectations. We're going to go into the umpires briefing proper. I'm going to hand over to the umpire managers, and then we'll talk about some tournament logistics and housekeeping, and Kit will do that. And because he's got to go to another appointment, we're going to probably just bump him up after this here. Okay, Kit? So, Masters ethos. I've just asked Dr. Jeff Brown to talk to that very quickly. For those that don't know Jeff's probably done every role in hockey. He's been a player, an umpire, a tournament director, a coach, a manager. Pretty sure he's been a doctor at a tournament. I did ask him before, I said, have you been a groundsman? That's probably the only role I'm not sure that you've done. But the reason why I say that is Jeff's been around a long time, you can tell. But he certainly understands a lot about the Masters ethos, and I think it's really important that we as a group determine what that looks like for us as well. So Jeff, if you could just quickly speak to that.
Kia ora koutou, ko Jeff Tokunga. It's an honour to be able to be asked by Frenchie to just ruminate a little bit about what is so different about Masters than any other tournament. I mean, a lot of you, Hatch Cup or whatever and upwards, we've got some sprinkling of international people, but the thing that sticks out about Masters as a different tournament, I just want you to 10 seconds, silent auction, have a think for yourself. What makes this next week different? I'm not going to ask you all to help out. Things that come to my mind are that the attitude that we take in determines how good this week is, not how well we umpire. Not how well we officiate, but the attitude we take in. Are we coming here just to have a good time and share stories, or are we coming here to contribute to the ethos of a tournament that everyone walks away from to say, wasn't it great in Wellington? I want to go back. For an intangible reason, they won't be able to name just this or just that reason, but it just felt so good. So there's going to be some very skilled players out there. Women's 50s, I understand, it's stunning skills. But within that team, there's a wide range of skills. And just because a tackle looked a bit odd, doesn't mean it was a brutal tackle that needs to be fired off with a card. Yes, we look after skill. Yes, we look after intention. But we manage at Masters in such a different way than all those flash Harrys that you see running around in the FIH Pro League at the moment. They've got backups, they've got umpires, they've got debriefings, which is all about, did you hold the card this way or that way? Not quite. But, even Frenchie's point, the ethos of Masters is now creeping out into a lot of other hockey. It's about the product, it's about the feeling, it's about how people take it, not here, but here, how their hearts are it and how they feel in their guts about what just happened, the game they just played, the game they took part in. So I just want you to dwell on that a little bit and think about those of you who occasionally after a game or after a match go and lean on the bar and share a drink with your mate, your official, your person you're blind with. What do you talk about? What do you reflect on? I got a really smart decision then. I really nabbled that, I got your moment, a real clever decision. Or do you talk about how great that game was and how much you contributed to it by the unseen things? The teamwork, the camaraderie, almost the arm around the shoulder, but maybe just figuratively arm around the shoulder of those players that you were looking after. That you managed that game, no matter where it was, Fraser, Kapiti, one of these three, when it's windy like this or when it's going to be sunny on Tuesday. Whatever you're doing, any time of the day or night, have you just had the best game by your contributions and by your attitude before you even think about that whistle or the card or the clever decision? So that's what I was thinking about as I was coming down here, what I might talk about, because that's what I take away, and it's how I judge it is by those conversations that you're having after the game at the bar. Are you talking about the same things as the players, as the coaches? What a great game that was. The three teams, the officials and both other teams, had the right attitude and walked away, no matter the result, with a right feeling. That, to me, is the ethos of Masters. Kia ora.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing that, Jeff. And some of the things I heard was attitude. Some of the things I heard was family. Some of the things I heard was protecting skill, eliminating danger. So all the things we do as hockey officials, but coming from a place of what you put into this week is what you're going to get out of it. You put in the right attitude, the right approach, you'll get that out of it. You put in negativity, the wrong kind of approach, you may get that out of the week as well, okay? So, as I said before, a very demanding tournament, 97 teams, we're here from about 7 o'clock in the morning till about 10 o'clock at night, a lot of us. It's going to be, it's going to be a hard week. But with that kind of hard sort of work to do comes huge success and huge benefits. So please, solution focused, really good attitude. Sing out if there's an issue, okay? Sing out if you need to. Come and see me, the umpire managers, the TDs. With that, I put a photo of this man here, Stephen Lawton. There's probably not an umpire in our family, our Masters family, that did not... he as an umpire is the epitome of what Masters was about. Now, just for a minute, for those that knew Stephen, reflect on what you knew about him. Not for a minute, for 10 seconds. Steve was funny, right? Steve told you what he was thinking. Steve always put his hand up to do something. Steve was a bloody good umpire. The biggest compliment you can pay an umpire is to say, I'll umpire at the other end with you any day of the week. And I would have umpired with that man at the other end any day of the week. He was just that kind of umpire, right? The perfect Masters umpire. And I think it's fitting to remember and recognise Steve. And for those that don't know, he has just passed in the last couple of weeks. So I'd like to actually just take a moment's silence for all of us that knew him to remember him and remember something special about him. Let's just do that now. I can hear him. Cool, all right.
Oh, we're going upstairs this week. You could give me an answer when I go upstairs.
Yeah. So look, just very quickly, here's the team. This has been sent out to everybody. We're not going to go through every slide. So yeah, if you don't know who they are, find out who they are, get to know them. And by the end of the week, we should all just about know who everybody is, I hope.
You might have to tell me twice. Just saying.
Right, before we hop into the hockey proper, I might just ask Kit to talk to us around some of the logistics and of game time that's come out of the managers' meeting and the technical officials' meeting. So I'll call Kit to come through.
Thanks, Colin. Yeah, in the interests of the professional side of it, friendly, professional, but we want to be as professional as we can. So I want to share with you what we've been talking about with the technical officers and with the team managers. The first is in relation to timing. We are very short of time. There is a curfew that operates in Wellington, which means the lights go out at 10 o'clock, regardless. So we must not let the game slip, particularly on Sunday. We've got a very big day. So as far as umpires and TOs are concerned, you have got to herd the cats effectively. So, as umpires and third umpires, when you get into your dugout, talk to your TO, check with them what the scheduled kick-off time is and make sure you're primed and ready to go. On days 1 and 2, we are doing visual equipment checks. And so I think as the three of the umpiring team, you can help the TO when you get down there to get those equipment checks done well in advance of the end of the previous game. Because when that hooter goes, the water will come on straight away if it isn't already on. And the teams only have 6 minutes until the next game kicks off. So, and you will have an important role to play in doing that. Ditto, once the scoreboards start, the 2 minutes on the scoreboards, the time will just tick over. If the Cats are still in the dugout, their time will be running. They'll be missing out on playing time. So just be aware of that. So you as umpires, take your cue off the TOs, but get them out there as soon as you can. The duties of the third umpire, there are only 2 people in the dugout, the TO and the third umpire. So the third umpire has a very important job to do, which is to help that TO. So when you get down there, go to them, they're in charge, right? Ask them what they want you to do and make sure you're doing it, whether it's running the scoreboard or doing the naughty players or whatever it is. But please take that job seriously. So as far as injuries are concerned, the clock will not be stopped by whoever's doing it, either the TO or the third umpire, will not be stopped for penalty corners or penalty strokes unless it occurs at a break. Right? So so that the clock will be stopped, but we don't want that to happen. So umpires awarding penalty corners with 30 seconds to go is definitely going to be frowned on. Injuries.
Is this the professional part still, or?
Injuries. The normal thing is if you're the engaged umpire, go over and ask the person, what day of the week it is. You make an initial assessment of whether they need to leave the turf. All this time the clock is running, right? So you need to basically tell them, look, the clock is running. You're either going to go off and be treated in the dugout, right, or you're going to get up and play on. If it's clearly a serious injury, signal to the TO, time will be stopped, Pro-Med will move in, and we will sort things out from there. Just a little bit of an update on the venues. Kapiti's absolutely wonderful, lovely new, for those who haven't been there, lovely pavilion, fantastic coffee and donuts. That was Colin's lunch yesterday. You'll have a great time out there. We all know how good the facility is here. Fraser is a little bit on the budget side. So just be aware of that. Particularly if you're out there tomorrow, we're not quite sure what's happening with dugouts and what have you, but I'm sure you will make it all happen. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you, Kit. So for those that aren't aware, we're running LTS live in the dugouts, okay? So there's a little bit going on. So your role as a third umpire is absolutely your primary role is as a third umpire in terms of watching the game and being prepared to come on, or understanding how the game's progressing. But you will have some secondary roles to help with the TO4, okay? So get that balance right. Take the TO role that you've been, or the support you've been asked to do really seriously, but also understand what a third umpire role is in terms of watching the game, okay? Right, I'm going to quickly go to some other logistics, and then I'm going to ask Keely and Paul to talk to you a little bit about appointments. I'll let them discuss what those topics are. Okay, I've already touched on this, but I'm a big believer that if there's something wrong, you need to tell someone. Or that you're not happy about something, you need to go and seek to understand why, or to seek to learn. Because what tends to happen for people who don't do that is they get annoyed, they don't enjoy themselves, and the worst scenario is they get a bit toxic. And that's not what the Masters ethos is about. We're here to have fun, we're here to be professional, and to achieve some of that, if there's something wrong, seek out the answer. If you're not happy with something, seek out the answer, or at least seek to understand, okay? And we've got a really high quality level of Kit as TD, his team of technical officials and umpire managers that are here to support that. For the record, I am not one of the umpire managers, and I think that's really important to understand. I've helped day one appointments because I was in Auckland and it was just a lot easier for me to do that. My role here is to support the umpire managers. Now, I'll also say that if you do want to talk to me about something umpiring, I'm more than happy to do that, but your main port of call are the umpire coaches. They're the ones watching you, okay? But again, I'm happy to support that. But my main role is to support them, okay? Be open and approachable to all tournament participants. Masters ethos, Get to know your coaches and your players, and come up for a lemonade, and use this time to, well, people drink lemonade. Use this time to create your own profile, I tell you, it's such a cool thing. And I look at some of the seasoned veterans here, and I'm not going to pick them out, but one's staring right at me. Aren't you, Glenn? He walks onto the field, and the players and coaches know who he is. They know. Yeah, he runs. I was right the first time. But players and coaches know him. He's taken time to build a relationship and a profile with them. And I can tell you, when the chips are down and you need to make some big decisions, that's a very big part of being an umpire, right? This is your challenge, for the new ones here. What a challenge. An open blank page for you to get in there and get involved. Okay, just some quick logistics before we get into the real important stuff. Is everybody on the WhatsApp group? If you're not, there's 3 WhatsApp groups actually. There's one for the management team, there's one for the umpiring team, and then there's the banter shanter team, which I'm very sorry I put something out at midnight on last night. Won't happen again. But make sure you are on it, because the WhatsApp is where we'll send a lot of important information, okay? And so please use it for that only, all right? Image, I'll come back to transport in a minute. Image, again, we are the third team here, and in my view, we're the best team, all right? And as individuals and as a team, we need to prove that. We need to support that, Okay, so be approachable when someone wants to talk to you about something. If you say you're going to do something, make sure you do that. Walk with, act in a way that you would want people to act with you. I think that's probably the best thing to do, right? And because in time, what people do is they start going, this group of umpires, we want them back, and we want to be a part of it. Okay, that's the kind of success that we need to breed here. New Balance umpire shirts, for those that have ordered them, I'll hand them out at the end of this briefing. I'll go away and get them sorted. Reserve umpire duties we've talked about. Right, because it's live LTS, one of the other things you must remember to do as an umpire if you've given cards. Sorry, were you going to cover this off?
No,
little bit.
We're doing great.
Okay. I'll hand over to Keely, who will really cover it off well. Make sure you allocate all the points, check what's been recorded. That's your job as much as the manager's. Okay? I've got here 3 venues, or we're actually at... No, we are at 3 venues, aren't we? That is going to cause some hardship for us. There's going to be some difficulties around the logistics. Again, solution focused, be part, play your part. But if there's a problem, what do? We seek to understand, we talk to someone, we work it out, Level 1 grading assessment. So we do level 1 gradings here for umpires and technical officials. So if you're someone who doesn't have a Hockey New Zealand level 1 grading, please email me that you'd like to be assessed here, and I will pass that list on to the umpire managers. Okay? Now, a little caveat there. Okay? One of my jobs in Hockey New Zealand is also to talk to your associations about that as well. Okay? Because we're working alongside them in partnership of the grading. But don't get me wrong, we can issue the gradings here. Okay? If anybody wants to talk about that individually to me, please come and seek me out to understand. Okay. I thought I would mention the 2024 Masters World Cup. Okay? For those that haven't seen it, very proudly, Hockey New Zealand's won the hosting rights to one of 2 events, the other one's being in Cape Town. We're actually very lucky in this room, and I will ask Sonia to stand up. Is she here?
No, she's
gone.
Working.
She's hiding. So Sonia is actually the Oceania representative for World Masters. Okay, so and she's very well entrenched in that space. So if you do meet her and you want to talk about Masters World Cup, she's probably the right person to speak to. But why I've mentioned it is there's an EOI, an expression of interest, and it's got to be in by the 1st of March. 1st of March, okay? Now, already I'm aware there's about 90 teams registered to come to the World Cup in Auckland. I think it's slightly more in Cape Town. And if you've been to Cape Town, luckily I have, you know why you're going to Cape Town. It's a beautiful place. I just said that as an Aucklander, I don't know. But yeah, if anyone's interested, jump on the EOI and put it in. There is a process they go through. I'll quickly spell it out. Basically, they will collect all the names and they will go through a process. Do they know who you are? Have you been to previous events? If they don't know you, they will then contact the National Association, which obviously is Hockey New Zealand, and they will ask for our CV on you guys, what you've done. You're active in the National Masters, you're active in your association, and sort of where things fit. There will be some disappointments, because if they get oversubscribed for EOIs, then some people will miss out. But I think if you're interested in doing it, and you're really keen, I think it's a great chance, because it's in our backyard, I think it's a great chance to see if you can get involved. And if nothing else, your name is starting to get on a list, and they're starting to know maybe who you are. Okay? Next list. Yes. I'm now going to pass over to the real stars of this evening. Transport.
Good work.
Yes. You want me to do that?
Hell yes, I'm not touching transport.
So at the moment we have Kapiti, 3 turfs here, and for 3 days out of the 8 we'll be having a half day at Fraser Park. Now Kit touched on Fraser Park. It's got bare minimum stuff there, okay? So we're not using it very much. In terms of appointments, I'll let you guys talk to that, because it's sort of related to the transport as well, because where you're appointed to, we need to work out how we get you there. Before I go on to that, I just want to single out 2 people, and one of them is in here. So Andrew Wells has worked really hard to put a new system in place to help the efficiency of the process, not the actual appointments decisions, but just the process that sits in behind that. He's done a lot of hours for us to help us with that. Without going in too much, it's pretty much like Matchref, if those who know what Matchref is, and so, but it's an Excel-based system that he's done a lot of work on. So I just want to really thank him for that. The second person I really want to single out is David Oakley. David, Paul, and I, because we're in Auckland, we took the responsibility, I suppose, of doing the first day's appointments. Pretty hard to get, Keely from Canada and a few other people into Auckland to help do that. So we did do the first day's appointments. I can tell you, when we've had, again, another umpire pull out an hour ago, probably, it's been quite a difficult process, and I want to thank Dave especially, who's burnt the midnight oil, and we even, I don't mind sharing the story, we were WhatsApping, was it last night? I've actually forgotten. It was last night. We were WhatsApping and sharing the Excel spreadsheet while we were WhatsApping and having a red wine and watching the cricket as well. So, if you think if you think the appointments weren't very good, the red wine might be the reason why. But look, all joking aside, David's worked really hard on this first day, and I just want to thank you for your hard work too, David. Okay. So, in terms of logistics, we have currently got 2 Hockey New Zealand vans, and we are looking to get a 3rd vehicle. Okay? So, depending on where you're going, I know how many people here have got private vehicles?
Wow.
Wow, great.
So we don't necessarily expect you to, if you've been appointed to Kapiti, to hop in your car and go there, but the vans fit 9 each, okay, and we're including technical officials. So we are going to have to, once we work out the appointments, we're going to have to work out what that looks like. The vans are based at the accommodation, so for us that are accommodating together, we're in Sojourn in Gusney Street, which is right in pretty much the centre of town, near Cuba Street. So that could be a focal point in terms of people want to get in the van. The problem with that is how you get there and what you do with your vehicle is unfortunately your care. Okay? Yeah. I think what we'll do is we'll get the appointments out, or we've done that already. We'll sit down and just work out what those logistics look like and tell you, van 1 for turf for NHS is leaving at X amount time. Does that make sense? Kapiti van is leaving at that, and then just get a sense of how many people need to go there. Yes, Emma?
Which WhatsApp chat do you want transport logistics or questions to be on? Is that on the umpire's one, or is that on the shipyard's one?
It has to be on the umpire. Has to be on the umpire's one. Has to be on the umpire's one. So that's purely for logistics. So use it for that.
Not the banter.
Not the banter. Yeah. That's why I want to make sure everybody's on it.
Just get a query, someone's trying to get it off the umpire's one.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but what if you're that one person who could help out with that transport issue? I know that it's annoying to have a lot of notifications, but that's one of the things that we need to do, is be open to hearing them, because we might be able to help.
Yep. And a very good point, but that is the reason why we want to separate them out and make sure that that's purely for logistics. Okay? Yes?
Shall we make a separate one for travel, so that your appointment, so we don't need to scroll through 40 messages to get your appointments?
It shouldn't be too bad. I'll tell you what I'll suggest. If we use the current setup tonight and for tomorrow, and if we get a sense that it's too difficult, there's too much traffic, excuse the pun, on the WhatsApp, then we'll look to do a separate one. I'm just conscious there's about 3 or 4 set up already. That's the only reason why I'd say that. Well, we've got some separate ones too. We've got we're spying on Jelena one. Yeah. No, we've got some management ones and some umpire coaching ones. Yeah. Does that sound okay? Does that sound okay? Cool. Hockey New Zealand staff. So there's a lot of us here already. You're lucky the bar is an open die, I'm telling you, that's what I was saying. Hockey New Zealand staff, so there's a number of us here. So we've invested in bringing down our brand and marketing team. They're going to go around and capture quite a lot of footage. They possibly may come up and interview and ask you about the Masters ethos. They might come up and ask you, how's your first national tournament, Ryan? So be prepared to do that. If you don't want to, what should we do? Decline it nicely, yeah? You know, concerns, talk, you know, seek to understand. Let's just open the communication. But they're really dedicated to doing that. They're trying to really raise the profile a little bit. My boss will be here on Thursday, Ken Mapleston. Remember his name and tell him how good I am. No. He will be here on Thursday. But Friday, Saturday, our CEO will be here as well. Okay? You can tell him what you like. No, but I mention that because this is a really important tournament for Hockey New Zealand and our community. Okay? And I believe until recently it probably hasn't been given the elevation and the profile it deserves. So I'm really pleased to see that commitment's coming. So that's the reason why I mention it. But really do tell Ken I'm doing a good job too. Okay, lunches, they will be at 2 venues, not Fraser Park. Okay, so when you finish at about 1 o'clock, you would need to return back to NHS, or if you want to, you can. No, don't drive up to. Okay, but we will be making those available for you. I'm not quite sure where that's going to happen yet, but we will find that out. Probably into the Umpire's gazebo that's at the back. It's really been really well set up in there too. I've got a chair that's got my name on it, so.
It's a very big chair.
I always try and see if people are interested in an umpire's dinner. We do have the Saturday night social, and I look around the room here, it's going to be pretty hard to get this whole group together. So if someone wants to undertake that role, go for it. I will not be doing that, unfortunately. Okay? But if that's something people want to consider, then let's get a movement going. Okay? Let's get a 5th WhatsApp group and we'll... But personally, I'm a big fan of this because I think it's just part of celebrating our team. But it is quite a difficult logistic in terms of the number of people. But if there's 2 or 3 people that think they can do that, come and see me and I will support that. Just delegate you to do what you need to do. Cool. I'm going to finish there. Well, I reckon Di's phone went off during the briefing, so that's... Okay, righto, listen, we're running a bit of time. So, in terms of logistics, with the exception of transport, is there any other questions? No? What happens if you're sitting in your room at 10:30 and you go, I haven't received my appointment? What should you do? Seek to understand, yes. You know? Don't ring me because I'm not an umpire. Yeah. I think the point is there. You know, go find the answer. Okay, don't wait for it. Okay, go find the answer. Okay, but we have undertaken to because we know last year they, for very valid reasons, by the way, we're out quite late, so we're trying to improve that as well. Okay, no other questions?
I'd just like to say one other thing on logistics for the people that are using their personal car. People who are using their personal car, if you're out at Kapiti or Fraser Park and you're coming back, you know, it would be great to be able to get a quick WhatsApp. I'm at Fraser Park, I'm leaving in 10 minutes or 15 minutes if anybody needs a ride. Just to put it out there to see what's going on. There may be people out at Kapiti who will have to stay there the whole day, who might like to be able to get back. Okay? So again, just that communication between us all would be fantastic.
Brilliant. Okay. I'm now going to hand over to Paul.
You can...
Yeah, okay. So, for those that read my email, I know all of you did, I did suggest bringing an alternate colour, and preferably red. But if you haven't got a red shirt, look, just find a colour that doesn't clash with the teams. That's the reality, I think. Is that okay? Yes. So there are a couple of teams, Wellington and Taranaki are probably the two teams. They both have quite a lot of yellow. Well, some do, but some don't. But it's really probably our responsibility to change 2 rather than change 18, arguably. Yeah. Yep. We won't be asking teams to change their colours because it clashes with the umpires. We'll be asking the umpires to change their colours.
I think, Harry, you've got, we've got a few shirts. Yeah, Trans-Tasman, I've bought one. I've got a couple of old Australian green ones. So I think we'll work it out. If you know that there's going to be a possible clash,
the other
please communicate.
The other thing we do have, and they're not ideal, but we do have bibs, and I know that's not ideal, but that's the last resort. But if you've got an alternate colour, put it on. It doesn't matter if the other umpire is in the same colour, I don't think.
Are there radios?
Yes, there is, and Keely and Paul are going to talk to a bit of that. And I can help as well.
Great. Okay, so here we go. Now, everybody has seen this before? You all had it emailed out to you? So, no, yes, no. Okay. If you haven't and you do want a copy, please let us know and we'll sort that. But you should have a copy in your email. So, again, coming back to that Masters ethos, we're just looking to learn, improve and perform. Really, it all comes down, for me, down to this end word, right? Enjoyment. Right? We come here, we give up our time to enjoy the tournament. The players do the same thing, so let's make sure we do. Okay, and that comes back down to how we approach things, as Colin said. We want to make sure that everybody, so players, our group, as well as spectators, go away from this tournament and just think, this is fantastic. All right? So positive attitudes will be all good. Supporting, helping, developing.
3 words.
There we go. It's pretty good. I'm done. So those 3 words, you know, Keely is here, is somebody from another country that has would not have exactly the same philosophy or the same way of doing things as we do here. And I think that's really important to link into. You know, from the point of view of us learning, we never stop learning when we're out there umpiring. There's always something we can learn from a 75 men's game, a 65 women's game, or a 35 men's game. And that's whether you're umpiring it or whether you're leaning over the fence watching it, standing next to one of us, one of the other umpire managers, having a chat. What do you think of that? Could that have been done differently? So, you know, this is what we want to do. We want to support one another. We want to help out if there is anything going not particularly well. Let's talk. And that'll help us to develop as umpires and I think also as people within this community. Okay. 2 pillars, I think we've all heard about the 3 pillars and 2 pillars. Accurate decision making, of course, is what we want. High levels of communication, appropriate management options. Now, you know, when we talk about these things, these are the areas that the umpire coaches will be looking at. And if you want feedback around aspects of your game, then it's up to you to come and find us. Okay, we will be out there the entire day, right, moving around, but we're trying to allocate umpire coaches to certain fields at certain times. Just see how that goes, because we do need to have a little bit of time to come up, have something to drink, have some, water only. That's after. Have some lunch and actually have a little bit of downtime, otherwise we're going to get burnt out as well. Okay, so we will be around. We will have shirts on. Find us, all right? Otherwise, just get onto the app and find out who was doing your game or who saw your game, and then reach out and find out about their feedback, okay? If there are times you come off and you go, actually, no, I'm quite happy with that, no problem, all right? We're here to support you, all right? We're not going to be running around going, you've done this, you've done that, that was good, that was bad, okay? We're here to support you with the information that you want to progress as an umpire. Okay?
I'll just add a little bit, just because I'm the new girl, and I think it might be helpful for you to just understand what it is that I'm looking to do to support you all here. I have a weird accent, I swear a lot, and I'm probably going to tell you things in a very different way than what you've been hearing for the last 20, 30, 40, however many years. I might make you uncomfortable. And if I do so, fucking awesome. Because what we've done in that moment is we've put you in a state where you've got a little bit more emotion, a little bit more reaction. That is neuroplasticity. And that is where we're truly going to learn and make changes and do something different. And I believe, as I look around this room, and I've been looking at all of you for the last little while, I think everybody's here because you really do want to learn. And you want to try different things, and you're willing to be uncomfortable. So if you're interested in being uncomfortable, come talk to me. Send me a DM on WhatsApp. So I show up as the weird number, the +1 403. It's unknown, but it's a business account. I can't fix that. Add me to your contacts, DM me, let me know if there's anything in particular or anything vague that you think I can help with. Please do come ask, and I promise I will make you uncomfortable.
It's fantastic. I love it. I love it. See, if I said that, I'll make you feel uncomfortable.
Somehow it doesn't work, does it? Yeah. Sexism, it's great.
Okay, so our expectations, and I think all of your expectations as well, is that we're prepared, right? We want to be here. We want to know that we have our other team member with us. You know, we're talking at least 20 minutes before a game. We need to be over there helping out the new tech bench that's coming on, especially tomorrow with stick checks, etc. So let's make sure that we are communicating with our co-umpire, and that we are together prior. We've done our pre-match if we want to do that, and how far you want to go into it. Again, that's up to you guys. Yeah. Okay.
But it's really important that your pre-match, that you do at least contact your colleague, you know, well before the game and say, yo, hi, we're umpiring together. It's going to be great to work with you. What would you like to do? Do you want to meet me in the pavilion at this time? You know, do you want to buy me a coffee, please? You know, whatever you want to say to them. But arrange that. Be very proactive with your colleague. That makes everything very smooth. I don't recommend waiting until just before the game to have this talk, because shit goes wrong. So take care of it early and everything will be great.
Everybody.
Just on the stick check, sorry.
Yeah.
I just want to really make this clear. It's just a visual check. We're not getting out, you know, the cathedrals and look. So just a visual check. If it's something that looks very dangerous or really wrong, then that just needs to be brought to the attention of the technical official. In fact, I would do it that way rather than you getting involved in that discussion.
Absolutely.
That's a good point.
But don't get too officious about it. That's probably what I'm saying. A good visual check is good.
Speaking of being officious,
yep,
and potentially being over officious,
yep,
are we doing anything about mouth guards and shin guards this week?
So if you were at the managers meeting, that was covered off with the managers?
Yep, I wasn't.
Okay. Is Kit here? So look, the reason we have that is to protect people from injury, okay? And so we are recommending that they wear those to keep themselves safe. Yeah. But it's not compulsory, and we will not be sending a player from the field if they aren't wearing a mouth guard. So, okay.
Great. Okay, so one of the biggest ones here, I think, is expectations of yourself. Right, we come to tournament. I don't think anybody comes to be a stick in the mud and to be negative. So what's our expectations of ourselves, what's our expectations to our fellow umpires, to our players, and how do we want to move forward from this tournament into the next tournament next year, hopefully with some better weather. So it's on you. We're here to support you, so use us as much or as little as you want. Okay? What else we got there? Okay, so we've covered, I think, we covered a little bit of this, the timings. I'd suggest to be really, really proactive with all these timings, because 6 minutes between games, you're going to end up with teams really only out there for 2 to 3 minutes before you have to start trying to herd them back in to get them back out to start the game. So be really involved with your TO, and hopefully between all three and the two managers, we can get it going.
And
all right?
I just wanted to highlight the stop the game versus stop the time. I still think it's important when you have things that you need to address, like you have to give a card, you do want to stop the game. So still go through the routine of stopping, making the signal, and making sure the play does not start again until you are ready, because you are the boss of the game. In order to keep everybody safe, you need to be ready for that. Okay? So you can still blow and then do this, even though the tech bench is going to ignore you. Okay?
Just a question. It says there that on-field umpires are the sole judge of game time, but then Kit's just said that the
Yeah.
score
Yes.
Yeah.
I've just read that. So
Kit wins.
that was before we had an understanding that the scoreboards were just going to continually tick over. So for now, it will be off the scoreboard unless you hear differently. Okay?
Okay.
So we still start
Well spotted.
after breaks, like the umpires will
Yes.
start the game, but the scoreboard's already going. So
Absolutely.
it's
Yep.
like that's on the, yeah.
And at Fraser Park, there is no scoreboard, so it will be the umpire's sole judge. And turf 3 down here, correct me if I'm wrong, Shane, I think there's a scoreboard being delivered here, but I don't think it's got one at the moment. Is that right? Yeah. So depending on how that's going, it may not be operational game one. So in the absence of a scoreboard, okay, good on you.
Yeah, I think with all of those sorts of things, some of us have been around a long time, others haven't. So when we get to a place, we just need to go with the flow and sort that out, right? Remembering that we're here for the game, here for the players, and here for ourselves. So don't make it difficult on yourself.
Do you have a question?
Yeah, with the countdown, is there a 6-minute countdown as well, or is that going off the TO?
So at Kapiti, I believe it's 6 minutes, correct, Ali?
At Kapiti, scoreboard is set up with a 6-minute countdown, right? And then whistle goes, they start the game. So teams will be advised when they go to Kapiti, because I'll be there, sorry, my name's Ali, you don't know who I am. I'll be there to help out with officiating at Kapiti for the teams when they turn up. So they'll be appointed to change sheds at Kapiti. There are showers at Kapiti as well. There's another facility behind the turf that can use showers. But then at the same time, teams will turn up, games will be on, they'll be ready to go on. They'll be advised what they need to know. So therefore, game finishes, teams swap over, time will start.
Excellent.
They don't wait for no one.
Great, thank you. So here, TO is in control. So we're not sure whether there is a countdown, but they've got the clock. So just deal with them. Okay? Let's just make it simple for ourselves. And as much as I can lay off to the TO, I will. Okay, just around treatment of players. Remembering if somebody does come on, if they get called on to a player, then that player needs to go off for 2 minutes. Doesn't include goalkeepers. All right? They're special. Very special.
Yes. And tech table, including the third umpire, is controlling that. Okay? So tech job, third umpire's job is to make your lives as easy as possible, and that includes timing the cards and timing injuries. Okay?
I would also suggest as the third umpire, and you can work with your TO on this, if there is a goalkeeper substitution during the game, generally game is stopped.
Game is stopped.
Right, the game is stopped. So it would be advantageous to have the goalkeeper walked down to the baseline so that that time is limited for that change.
We're not actually stopping the clock.
Not actually stopping the clock. Yeah.
Just
Okay,
stopping
so
game.
reason we're walking down there beforehand is to limit the time stoppage. Okay?
10 seconds to go, the match. I'm 1-0 up. And I want to swap my goalkeeper because the opposite's got the ball leading into the 23. Okay? So what I'm asking you to think about is how do we deal with those issues? All right? So there's two issues. There's two issues. Whose right is it to say no, you can't do a substitution? But on what basis can I say you can't do a substitution? You tell me why I can't do a substitution. So be very careful. What you probably need to do is actually stop the time. That's what I would suggest you do. All right? Because they are entitled to make a substitution. But we will stop the time in that situation.
So I was going to ask a similar question about goalkeeper not having to leave, and I'm a goalkeeper, because I'm asking this question. So if goalkeeper is injured on the field, we're not stopping the time, but they're allowed to be treated on the field.
Correct. We stop the game
But we don't
to receive their treatment, but we don't stop the time unless it is a serious injury for which a stretcher is required. We know goalkeepers are tough. They're fine.
I'm just checking, because
Yep.
normally we would have asked, as before, we would say, "Do you need to leave the field?" or-
Of
Yeah.
course.
What you're saying is you're 1-0 up, there's 2 minutes to go.
Oh man, he's gone!
So in terms of injuries, right, we all know this, but when there's an injury on the field, we walk over to the player, do you need assistance? Yes, I do. Then they will call the manager on, and that person has to do what? Leave, okay? So we've been proactive enough to make sure that we ask them. And if they say they need a manager, then they come on, they sort them out and take them off. Game is still ticking away,
That's
right?
So I just wanted to clarify on
Goalkeeper though, we're saying goalkeeper goes down, you go over to the goalkeeper, do you need assistance? Yes. Bring them on, sort them out, or get them off the field, but they don't have to go off.
No, that's what I meant.
Do you see the difference? Yep, time is still ticking. The reason we're doing it is not all teams have a second goalkeeper. So you imagine if they take a goalkeeper and go, oh, we want to suit up a second goalkeeper. So we're just allowing them to. Now, I don't want to put thoughts in your mind, but if you get the sense that that goalkeeper is deliberately stopping time continuously, what options are available to you? Hey mate, I'll give you that one. I don't want to see any more in this game. Or, and if it continues, then you might have 2 minutes, but it'll be in the shape of a triangle green card, right? Anyway.
Want me to do this?
There's some smart operators out there tomorrow.
So you can read the list of all the things in the management toolbox, and I'm sure you've been around long enough to use absolutely all of them. You know what works and what doesn't. The great joy that you have this week is that you have different age groups for which different management techniques will work differently. And from one game to the next, you might have a wildly different approach between one and another, depending on the skill level of the players, their athleticism, their savviness because they've been around for a little while, and things like that. So I think the biggest thing that you can do to ensure your own success in managing these games is whatever you choose to do, you do it the first time it happens. So if you might, for hitting the ball away when a men's 65s player, gives a little tap and the ball doesn't move very far and things like that, you've got a set of options there. But when you're doing women's 35s, you might take a very different approach because it breaks down the play and it changes something fundamentally about the fairness in that moment, and you need to reset the balance. Okay, so your tools are going to be shaped by what works and what's effective for those age groups because you are producing the game for them. Okay?
Yep, absolutely. And remembering we're out there to keep it safe, and that's safe for all and fair for all. So
yeah, absolutely. When it comes to, some of us are a little hesitant about giving cards at times, okay? And I completely appreciate the Master's ethos. I totally agree with what you said. When it comes to that point, and you do come to that point, just remember That's one player. What about every other player on the pitch? What about the other players on the bench? What about the fans who are there to watch a great spectacle, right? You owe them good management. Okay? So the impact of the card is not just to one person, it's to everybody. Think about that, okay?
Right, communication. We've talked about it on and off the field, but rapport, talking to players. This is Masters. It's one of our things in our toolbox, and we're out there to prevent things escalating and moving forward in a direction that we don't want. So, we've been around, we can see what's going on, we can see where things are leading, and we want to use some of those options within our toolbox to change where things are going. Okay? This whole thing, talking to players, I love it. Not just during the game, but after the game. Right? I started off in Masters a long, long time ago at this venue when this tournament was only 3 days long. Right? It was a 3-day tournament. And it was fantastic. And I met guys that I played against when I was in primary school, high school, and we'd come together each year. But a lot of the time was spent talking to them on the field and talking to them off the field about, one, Masters, and two, about life in general. So, great opportunity, really get stuck into it.
On communication, do you want to talk about miking up and stuff like that?
Yep, we can. We have a number of radios, which we will have upstairs here at this venue, and I think we'd only have them at this venue.
So we've got Hockey New Zealand radios here.
Yes.
To cover the 3 turfs. We don't have any for Fraser, and we don't have any for Kapiti.
Okay, but there are a number of people that have their own personal radio sets. If they are wanting to use those, it's not a problem. It is not a compulsory thing to use radios. So if you are not comfortable, that's fine. But I would suggest it is the way of the future. As you progress within your hockey career, you'll have times when it will be something that will be there. So, give it a crack, see what it's like, learn from it. Biggest thing I can say is more is less. That's less talking, more listening. Okay? Less is more is less. That's right. So, listening, that's good. So we do have a number of radios up here. People need to be responsible for them, so please be very mindful of what's going on, who they're being handed to, and where they need to go back to. Okay, Keely, have you got anything on communication around that?
I was just going to say, if radios make you uncomfortable. All right, let's do this. Okay?
Brilliant. Right, so any general concerns, questions, thoughts? Everybody's fantastic, 100%.
We've done a really good job.
We have. I think we have.
Frenchie did a fantastic job doing all of our material for us. It was great.
I would like to reiterate being involved here today, just what Colin was saying with David's help. The logistics of putting this together, if you can imagine all of these games needing umpires, having a number of player umpires, having a number of umpires who are not here for certain days with other commitments, people pulling out last minute, trying to fit people into where we see them fitting, but also servicing the tournament. So from an appointment point of view, come and talk to us if you think, but give us a couple of days, right? There are a lot of people here that I even don't know. So we've made some choices and we are here for the tournament. We will try and get to see everybody and we'll make some other choices around that and then we'll communicate that to you, okay? We don't want to have people doing all the same age groups all the time. We want to give people opportunity, but we also want to be seeing you that you can deal with that opportunity. Okay, we don't want to throw you into something that we think is just not going to be advantageous for you and for your growth at this point in time. All right?
So one of the challenges at the umpire managers meeting I gave them was some people should be identified to be extended and challenged. You know, so if they've been umpiring generally in this age group and they're umpiring well enough to go, actually, let's try them here to see how that works. Okay, so these guys are making those kind of assessments and you know, it's a tough job.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I'm very confident in what they're going to do. So.
And the learnings you take from a 40s game, very different from the learnings you take from a 70s age group game. No less important, okay? There's certain things that we can go and spend time learning when we're umpiring a 70s game that we don't have time to implement when you're doing a 40s or 35s game. So, you know, take it upon yourself to go, hey, I'm going to try this. Keely talked about, you know, feeling uncomfortable and getting outside my comfort zone, and I've seen this and I want to try that. Well, I might not be able to try it on a 40s game because it's just happening too quick. But I can do that on a 70s game, right? And I can see how I can develop the rapport with the players, or how putting those 2-3 toolbox things together affects the play differently. Okay, so use it. Use all of these games. Okay, anything else? Are we done? Oh, Julia. Of course.
So we have some new people here, but they probably won't know who your umpire managers are. So can we please have the umpire managers up on the stage, well, up the front, so that we know who they are?
Absolutely.
But also, while they're making their way up the front, can I, when I first started Masters, Jenny here was the umpire manager. She took over the appointment, so I wanted to have a massive shout out to Jenny here.
Jenny is still. Just for the record, Jenny is still involved in the appointments process, so just make that clear, nothing's changed. Yep.
Massive shout out to our umpire managers that are here to help us out.
Pop, come on up.
Dave.
We're over the hour though, so we're going to...
Quickly. And I think we might do the same thing and actually have each of you introduce yourselves. And for tomorrow, you can tell everybody where you're going to be.
Hello, my name's Ray Close. I'll be on number 2 to start with.
Really? I'm Merv, been here for ages. I'm going to Fraser Park tomorrow, so anybody want travelling, give us a buzz, and yeah.
John Mills, I'm at Kapiti tomorrow, and if you want to ride early in the morning, get hold of me.
We have a van going to Kapiti as well. So.
Kia ora, David Oakley. I'm umpiring as well, and I will be involved with the appointment process up till now, and I'm going to be on number 1 tomorrow. Okay.
Great, and then we have Keely and myself. I think I'm on all 3 at some point during the day, so we're around. All right? All good?
And Keely's going wherever she wants to go.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yes.
I'm just assuming we're all belonging to Start PCs, we're all on that same channel now.
I would expect so. Yes. So everybody hear that? That just talking about penalty corners and blowing to start a penalty corner, I would expect that everybody is in that space. Cool. Okay, anything else before we break? No? Brilliant. Thank you very much.